This may be the most proof I've ever seen that the Illuminati actually exist. In this clip, Simon Lou starts talking about the Illuminati, and he turns his attention to Andrew Garfield, and notice what happens next.
Is Illuminati real? And if so, why haven't I been invited? Garfield, where are you? I know you know. I know you know.
Now let's look at that again.
I know you know.
But that's nothing compared to this next one. Kelly Clarkson is interviewing Kevin Hart when she starts talking about being offered major money for sketchy things. Pay attention to Kevin's response.
Dollars in my face to do something I didn't want to do. And what? Just, you've been on, yeah. Oh, they're in the room.
It's almost like these actors know they shouldn't be talking about these things. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and follow for more creepy, dark, and interesting content.
Okay, this is either really cool or a little strange, but that's who you're doing business with, right? Okay, this is either really cool. Okay, this is either really cool or a little strange, but that's who you're doing business with, right? So.
What is this?
The truth hidden in plain sight.
So.
You can clone her.
That's awesome.
Oh my god, I'm literally going to do some crazy voodoo shit that I learned one week. And I channel her. This is so special to me.
Consume each other's blood on occasion for ritual purposes only.
If your ultimate goal is to be famous, then you're gonna do a lot to get there, like sign your name in blood in a contract with the devil.
This industry is not what it seems to be. I bet you there's rappers in here right now that can rap way better than me. You can rap way better than me. You will never be where I'm at because this industry is rigged. You have to go see this person and sit down and talk to them. You have to go and do this. You're a puppet.
Hollywood Records contract, and I'm signing it to have my first record ever and selling my soul to Hollywood Records. That's what I'm doing.
I signed my deal up in blood letters.
Something happened to me. I haven't been the same since. I've realized something about myself that it's dangerous.
So they practice witchcraft.
What does it mean though?
What it means, what it means.
What does the checkerboard mean?
It means mind control. So you got classical conditioning and you got operational conditioning. So what they do is they use programming. So
MK Ultra?
Yeah, but it's to push an agenda. So
you heard of this shit before, right?
I heard of MK Ultra, but I don't pay that shit too much mind.
So the checker. So what I'm saying is.
I'm going to put a little on your hand.
I do that, Oprah did.
Yeah, Oprah did it. All right, so here, we're going to rub it right in.
How come it's red?
I'll show you in a sec, Steve. So this is made from growth hormones of human
foreskin.
foreskin.
The wrinkles has just disappeared.
But so it's made from human foreskin. I'm sorry, Steve.
To be said for being with a younger man.
I suck babies' blood and put it on my face.
Okay.
Just joking, Hollywood world.
Facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
Have you seen Ellen DeGeneres' like house art?
No.
The art in her houses, it's like this demonic like 3-year-old drawings, like tons of them. Just imagine a 3-year-old drawing satanic art, and that's all over her house.
I'm sure she just buys the art as a way to not pay her taxes. Isn't that a thing that big celebrities do?
Yeah, but why that art? It's creepy. Like, if you see some of these pictures...
Everything about Ellen is fake. So, like, whatever's going on in her home, I don't want to know about it. I've heard behind the scenes on the Ellen show. I don't need behind the scenes in her house.
Turkish government is convinced this is Noah's Ark.
A group of Chinese and Turkish evangelical explorers claim this is Noah's Ark. The structure they've located is near the top of Mount Ararat in Turkey, the place where the Bible says the ark came to a rest when the floodwaters that covered the earth went down. The explorers say they excavated 2.5 miles above sea level, and that's where they say the structure they found has wooden chambers perfect for holding animals. They also say the carbon dating on the items found inside shows they are around 4,800 years old, Noah's era. This scientist who led the Turkish team says, "We are sure that these wooden parts belong to ship of Prophet Noah. We have sent the samples to laboratory. There is no doubt the results show these wooden parts and stones belong to the ship." Others are not so convinced.
I would want to, first of all, try and figure out their data, verify it. Where'd they get the carbon-14 dates done?
Even the founder of Answers in Genesis US and the highly visited Creation Museum says to take a wait-and-see approach.
Is this the Ark? Well, I would have to say we have to be very, very cautious, because there have been lots of claims over the years that people have found Noah's Ark, and just looking at Scripture talks about pitch covering the Ark on the outside and on the inside, and I didn't see any evidence of pitch on any of those woods at all.
This is one Dutchman's earnest recreation of the Ark, a sign of how the biblical account of Noah, his family, and the animals escaping the flood that God sent to wash away the corruption and wickedness of humanity still captivates people all over the world.
Why are you doing this?
To tell the people in Holland that the Bible is true.
If anything, we should use this to help people understand that we do believe in the account of the flood. We do believe in Noah's Ark, and we've got the evidence of the flood all over the world. Most of the fossil record that came from the flood, it wasn't laid down over millions of years.
And while this may not be the Ark, Pam says there's an opportunity here for Christians to share the gospel.
Help people understand that Noah and his family had to go through a doorway to be saved. We have to go through a doorway to be saved, the Lord Jesus Christ. He said, "I am the door." He's our Ark of salvation. Noah's Ark is really a picture of salvation.
Mark Martin, CBN News.
Plan is to start in this area and then maybe go to the other area 600 kilometers away and do some investigation there as well. I will work in collaboration with local scientists. What we do when we find important things is we publish it in serious books and publications and journals where we can show serious, rigorous work done. Once the scientific community knows, we can make it available to the general public. We want the general public to know our findings, but at this point it's too early to know what we are going to find. Well, I'll stay here for 5 or 6 days. I'm attending the symposium on Noah's Ark, and then I'll do some field work. I'm gonna visit a few sites, studying the geology of the Ararat region.
Quang Binh Province, Vietnam, 1991. Logger Ho Khan discovers a mysterious entrance to a hidden mountain cave obscured by dense jungle overgrowth. The cliffs leading down to the entrance are so steep he cannot explore it further, but he notes its location. Nearly 2 decades later, the British Cave Research Association finally explores the cave. What the team discovers is astounding. It is the largest underground chamber on the planet.
It's not just a cave. It's an actual world in Vietnam. Inside this cave, it's 40 stories high. There's actually an ancient forest. It's got flowing water, not just a puddle or a stream, but an actual river. Inside the cave is an entire growing ecosystem. And it's so deep that it looks like it's an entrance to a whole other reality.
This incredible subterranean realm, called the Songdong Cave, is estimated to be roughly 3 million years old. It runs through the earth for nearly 6 miles, and numerous areas where the cave ceiling has collapsed allow sunlight to enter, resulting in the growth of trees and other vegetation. But according to area residents, what's most notable about Songdong Cave are the strange creatures that are believed to dwell within it.
Local residents describe seeing reptilian-type humanoid beings emerging from the Songdong Cave, and they believe that they actually lived deep inside this cave. What's fascinating about this is that these reptilian-type humanoid beings are similar to the seraphim or the winged serpents in Kabbalistic tradition. The seraphim are said to have gone and lived in the inner earth, according to Kabbalistic teaching.
Is it possible that reports of reptilians at Songdong Cave are encounters with beings from inner Earth? While it may sound too incredible to be true, there have been reports that during the Vietnam War in the 1970s, U.S. soldiers encountered what they described as upright lizards inhabiting caves. And accounts of reptilian beings existing in underground caverns can be found all across the globe, even on the other side of the world, in Cusco, Peru.
Throughout Peru and around Cusco particularly, there are many, many stories of a tunnel system that has something to do with serpent deities, which they call the Amaru there. The Peruvian authorities themselves decided it was too dangerous for people to go into these tunnels, so they looked for all of the entrances they could around Cusco, and they sealed them up. And this is a well-known story within Peruvian history.
While there have been many reports from around the world of human-like reptilians, there is another inner Earth entity described in the Zohar that is even more commonly witnessed in modern times.
According to Zoharic literature, there are beings inside the earth having large black eyes and a nose that leaves only 2 dark holes on the face. Now that corresponds to things that we've heard about these, for lack of a better word, ETs. There is a lot of evidence that these beings that we think are coming from another planet are not coming from another planet. They're coming from inside our own Earth.
The black-eyed entities, commonly referred to as greys by ufologists, are the beings most often reported by alleged alien abductees, many of whom claim to have been taken aboard saucer-shaped craft. Could it be that the so-called flying saucers, so often reported in modern times, are not coming from outer space, but inner Earth? According to some ancient astronaut theorists, this notion is supported by numerous accounts of UFOs that are seen disappearing into the landscape, and sometimes even flying directly into mountains. Hove, England, 2008. In the middle of the night, 20-year-old Charmaine de Rosario Sage is sleeping in bed when she awakens to a frightening sight: a reptilian humanoid staring down at her.
I woke up. A reptilian came into the room. We went to an underground cave. There was a group of reptilians there, and they stood around me in a circle. Each one of them put one hand on my body, and I slowly changed. And it was the most amazing, but also sort of bizarre situation to look down at your body and see it morph from your human form into a reptilian form. To see the skin shift from being smooth into scales, and to find that I had a tail.
Could Charmaine's incredible story be true? Was she really transformed into a reptilian-human hybrid? Charmaine claims She learned from her abductors that all humans today are byproducts of alien genetic manipulation, some more than others.
At certain points in our history, different ET races have come to this planet, and they have not manipulated all of humanity, but certain groups.
The reason and agenda for alien intelligences to be on this planet manipulating humans and animals is because there are wars out there between different types of intelligences about territory. And that those territorial wars involve populations of created and manipulated life.
If reptilian extraterrestrials have inhabited Earth for thousands of years, are they content to continue hiding out underground? Or is the day fast approaching where they will step out of the shadows and announce their presence once again?
The Christians are waiting for the return of Jesus. The Jews are waiting for the return of the Messiah. The Islamic community is waiting for the return of Muhammad. The idea of this return did not originate with any of those religious figures, but it in fact originated with the promise by extraterrestrials that they would return in the future.
Tradition tells us that the army of the Messiah is not to come from heaven, but is to arise from inner earth, and therefore dominate the surface world.
Perhaps we are now at this special turning point in our history and the timeline of planet Earth, where the reptilians and the other extraterrestrials will announce themselves.
This guy. Now pay close attention to this guy, people, and I want you to ask yourself, who does this? See, this will be natural, a natural response for a reptilian to do, but it's not a natural response for a human being to do. So watch closely, the guy in the white shirt.
Yes, we have capitalism and we embrace it. And
they don't, Clarice. So as you can see, the woman does not react. The guy that he did this to was kind of stunned, but he doesn't react either. The woman, though, her non-reaction shows she may be one as well.
They got the same skin as the lizards got, okay? And terrible looking faces. But then they have the ability to shift and look like a human. All of them do. Okay?
Okay, do you think Von Braun was a reptilian?
No.
You really don't?
No.
Okay.
Your president, yes.
Oh, what? Which one? George Bush Sr.? Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Bill Clinton and this guy you got just got rid of. Yeah.
Yeah.
They all were.
Right.
Okay. So, and they all have this ability to make themselves look like real good-looking people.
And you're saying Trump isn't one?
No, he's not. Okay.
Well, that's a relief.
And and he knows more about this.
Now pay
They don't like human beings. In their history, in their teachings, the Andromedans say that they were taught that this universe was here for them, that they were left here and told it was theirs to rule. But when they started traveling, they ran across other races, and they were able to conquer many of those races. And how they've conquered those races was through genetic altering. Now, our government, the United States government, the world government, the New World Order, whatever you want to call it, wants to implant everybody.
Do you think what he is saying sounds credible or just a bunch of lies made for entertainment? Mind you, this was filmed in the 90s, and it has been almost 30 years since this was filmed. Put your idea in the comments below if this sounds credible or not. TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Extraterrestrials, they can't be bothered with that stuff. Those are toys. That's not permanent. You can always lose the hand, it can always burn out, you could always die. And extraterrestrials, they don't value gold or silver, they value genetics. So what they do is they will come in, conquer a race, and genetically alter it. And it is the genetics that they put inside these races that alters their frequency, their sound, their thoughts, everything about them. Apparently the Greys were much more human-looking at one time. They, as a race, were captured approximately 893,000 years ago. According to Mornay, the first thing they did was they slaughtered almost all of the women. The reason they do that is to control the birth process. And what they did was they started to genetically alter the women, the females of that race, so that all the children born after that were genetically altered.
Every single holiday that we celebrate is celebrating one of the 7 deadly sins. Valentine's Day represents lust. Thanksgiving, that celebrates the sin of
gluttony. Yeah, because you're
eating a lot. You're overeating. Christmas, what do you think that is?
Christmas. Greed?
Greed.
Yeah.
Overconsumption and excess. Celebrating gifts. We're not really even celebrating like the birth of Christ because people are so focused on the gifts and shit. The holiday of Easter, what sin would it be?
Easter.
Say it's envy because the Romans were jealous of Jesus, so they murdered him.
Oh,
it's crazy. St. Patrick's Day, it's sloth because people get blacked out drunk.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Now Halloween is what? It's wrath. Okay. So scaring and hurting people for fun. With masks, it's wrath.
Oh.
The sin of pride.
Okay, what's that? Oh,
Nah, we're not even gonna say that.
Why did NASA stop exploring the oceans? So far, humanity has explored less than 5% of our oceans. Beneath the dark waters lie countless mysteries to unravel and many things to discover. The rumors about the Kraken, the Megalodon, and many other mythical creatures living in the ocean could go from being mere myths to becoming reality. Did NASA discover something that diverted its focus from ocean exploration? In 1958, NASA began exploring the depths of the ocean. Its mission was to map the ocean floor, but on June 28, 1978, this program was abruptly halted. This decision came as a surprise and remains a mystery. NASA immediately shifted its focus to another mission, venturing into space. However, this transition raises questions. What could have caused this sudden change? What truly resides in the depths of the ocean? And the most intriguing question of all, what did NASA discover that was so extraordinary to halt oceanic research?
Papa Smurf is actually the devil. Hello, I am a Smurf. Did you know that Gargamel was based on a real person? In the 12th century, he was born in Spain to a very poor family. Unable to care for him, they left him in a basket in front of a convent church. He was raised to become a priest, but as the years went by, all the men who lived in the church with him passed away. Gargamel became depressed and got a cat, which he named Azrael after a fallen angel. The Smurfs are believed to be based on the 7 deadly sins. Consider this: Greedy Smurf represents greed, Granny Smurf represents envy and pride, Lazy Smurf signifies sloth, Grouchy Smurf embodies wrath, Vanity Smurf represents vanity, Hefty Smurf represents gluttony, and Smurfette represents lust. Not only do they symbolize the 7 deadly sins, but Papa Smurf stands out by being the only one dressed in red, a color associated with the devil. Consequently, he is considered the devilish character among the Smurfs. The Smurfs are purportedly attempting to bring evil to humanity, while Gargamel is portrayed as the protector of the world against our malevolent intentions. If you want to uncover more hidden truths about the characters, please follow my account.
Okay, so I'm about to blow your mind with this video.
We all know how many people believe Antarctica is not a continent of ice, but rather a giant ice wall surrounding all the continents of the world, and many people believe that if we cross these ice walls, there would be many other continents that have been kept hidden from us. Well, I'm about to show you a couple maps that actually show all the continents being surrounded by an ice wall. Up first is a map from Gleason's new Standard of the World map. And as you can see, it clearly shows an ice wall surrounding all the continents. This was also published in 1892, and Antarctica was found in 1820, which means they definitely had a better understanding of Antarctica because they literally found it 70 years before this map was published. So the real question is, why is it different today? But that's not even the craziest map. Here is the next map, which was leaked from an unknown source, and it's unbelievable. The ice wall is surrounding the continents and extends out to what looks like a bunch of other continents and oceans, which means other creatures or humanoids are there that are being hidden from us. Let's say this is real. Why is it being hidden from us? Is it for our safety, or is it being hidden for some...
Okay, so I'm about to blow your mind with this video.
We all know how many people believe Antarctica is not a continent of ice, but rather a giant ice wall surrounding all the continents of the world, and many people believe that if we cross these ice walls, there would be many other continents that have been kept hidden from us. Well, I'm about to show you a couple maps that actually show all the continents being surrounded by an ice wall. Up first is a map from Gleason's new Standard of the World map. And as you can see, it clearly shows an ice wall surrounding all the continents. This was also published in 1892, and Antarctica was found in 1820, which means they definitely had a better understanding of Antarctica because they literally found it 70 years before this map was published. So the real question is, why is it different today? But that's not even the craziest map. Here is the next map, which was leaked from an unknown source, and it's unbelievable. The ice wall is surrounding the continents and extends out to what looks like a bunch of other continents and oceans, which means other creatures or humanoids are there that are being hidden from us. Let's say this is real. Why is it being hidden from us? Is it for our safety, or is it being hidden for some other sinister reason? I'm very curious to see what everyone thinks about this, so let me know.